So today, Lucia, Marjie, and I have the pleasure of talking. This is the story of a student who is ready to do the work, the beautiful healer who took her on that journey, and what that process has been like for both of them. And Lucia and Marjie, just my sincerest gratitude for being willing to do this and to share so openly and vulnerably about what this has been like. And it's greatly appreciated. So thank you. What you two have done together has been really amazing to witness. And I hope this will inspire more people to really take a leap of faith with 2 feet or maybe 3 to finding their most amazing path. And so over the past several months, I've gotten the opportunity and privilege of being Marjie's friend while she's been working with Lucia and hearing about her sessions with Lucia and what they've been like, what they're doing together, understanding from Marjie's point of view why it's working, and really diving into that as her friend and just kind of a non-participating party to understand that. And it's really blown me away to watch her just step into her power over the past couple months. And it's happened so quickly too. And when you have somebody and you see them a certain way, and then you see them really start to see themselves that way too, and really, really thrive and really, really just go for it. It's just such a beautiful thing to watch. So I hope we can share more of that today and see how we can all learn from it. Lucia, if you wouldn't mind, I would really love, because I don't know this story at all. Would you mind talking a little bit about your own journey and your own path to become who it is you are today?
Yeah, I'd be happy to. So it started before I was born, right? Like we all have these pre-birth planning moments, but we can't remember them. Um, and from the moment I came into this body, I really wasn't sure whether I wanted to stay. And that created quite a lot of disruption in my life because I wasn't really fully committed to being here in the body. I know that many of you might be listening, might be sensitive soul like me and Molly and Marjie here, but I think it took me a long time to really commit to life, to choosing this life. And for a long time, I really struggled because I didn't really want to be here. I wanted to go back home. I wanted to go home where there was unconditional love, where it was safe, where weren't these really just harsh programs and have tos of trying to figure out how to be human and all that comes with being human. That's quite painful and difficult, challenging. And so I really didn't see the need for talking. I didn't talk till I was after 3, and I just really had a difficult time just really finding words for my expression and my way of being myself in my family, not just in the world, but with my family. And so I was often frustrated as a result because I couldn't access the words that really connected with what I was going through internally, my experience. And so over time, that energy kind of like started getting stuck. And I was having these judgments about myself. And I think that it created this dis-ease in my body that manifested as juvenile rheumatoid arthritis, and I had really swollen joints and stuff. And, it's strange when the body starts attacking itself. It's when the energy is not moving properly. And so that really catapulted me into a deep healing and exploration around how can I get this better? What do I do? This is very painful. I used to wake up in pain a lot. And, I didn't go the traditional route with what the doctors wanted to put me on because it just didn't feel right. And I thought, well, I can't trust them. I felt in my gut, and I just took it upon myself to go on my own journey of healing. And that's what started this whole thing around, going to massage and going into this transformational experience about how can I heal myself, and it started with the question of who am I really? Who is the self, and who needs to be healed? Where do I start? It's such a big question. And, it's just to break it down, because it was such a big question you asked, but to break it down was really, I took an energy medicine class in a massage school, and it spoke to me. And one of the things, I wrote a paper on self-responsibility and taking responsibility for your own health and well-being. And that's when I realized that this is the path. This is the path I needed to take for myself if I wanted to get well, feel healthy and strong inside. And it really came down to two things. To learn how to fall in love with myself and to learn how to accept myself as I am. So, this whole thing about not feeling good enough, we all have our different renditions of that, and the inadequacies of being human and the limitations, and then all the insecurities that come with it being human, and how to deal with that. It's quite a lot. And so that's what started this whole exploration of working with myself, and then really desiring to work with other people. And I did massage therapy for probably, I don't know, 10 years or so. And then there was a moment where I actually was repelled by the energy, and that was just the information where I needed to start looking inside and doing some transformational work to balance the feminine and the masculine, because I was very driven through the masculine and not learning how to own myself as a woman properly. And so that's partly why I came to San Diego, and because it's a lot more gentle here than Colorado. And was able to find Aikido, which is a martial art that is all about learning to harmonize with aggression, actually neutralize aggression. So if someone's coming to attack or coming with a loud, angry voice, the tendency is to fight, flight, or freeze, or faint. And in Aikido, we're training the body to learn a different way of relating with aggression. Ultimately, it's, how I see it, it's a innocent misunderstanding in that person. There's something that they didn't understand. And so the beautiful thing is that I'm learning, I'm teaching myself to go toward the attack, to go toward the aggression with awareness, neutralize it, and redirect the energy where it naturally wants to go. So ultimately, no one has to get hurt. And so I bring these principles of Aikido and self-healing and self-responsibility into the work that I do with people, with women mostly. And Marjie happened to be that one of those beautiful people that I got to work with. And, part of what it's really about is saying yes to you. Sometimes you need a witness to see your blind spots or to work through some of the difficult places in the humanity that it's very difficult to navigate by oneself. And I definitely had my own teachers and mentors throughout my journey. And in a nutshell, that's kind of my life story around how I got into the healing profession. And now I don't have rheumatoid arthritis, and I still practice learning how to love myself more and be accepting of what's in the space as it is. And that's the basis of the philosophy of my work, is meeting each person as a whole and complete being. And then working with whatever is in the space with unconditional love, with awareness ultimately, and helping people see their own light, feel their own light, and learn how to bring that light into the parts of humanity that need more attention and love. That makes sense.
That makes a lot of sense. Yeah, I didn't understand that about Aikido. That's like it just like a light bulb went off right there. Like something I feel like we all need to be working incredibly hard towards that kind of practice.
Yeah.
Mar- Go ahead.
There was one thing I wanted to say, is that that's what one of the things that is really important in my work, and I take women on a journey in online classes, is learning how to express. I didn't know how to express, and so learning how to express what I'm feeling, what's actually happening in my inner world, and having a safe container that's non-judgmental to do that inside of. And I think that's why it's so important that I create that for others, because I needed that when I was younger. And a lot of the time, if we can find the wisdom in the wound and bring that out as our gift, it's really quite a contribution to others, because it's the internal direct experience I've had. So I have more compassion and empathy for people who have a hard time expressing themselves.
Yeah, and I feel like I can feel the difference with you versus others immediately in the conversation. Like I hate the English language sometimes because you can't really describe it, but um it's like just the lack of judgment, which is it's just an almost impossible thing to describe. It's just it's such a clean energy. I don't know, maybe Margie, you describe that better?
Yeah. Well, when I first started working with Lucia, like the first time I saw her, I know I was like really nervous to meet her. And then like instantly when I saw her face, like my whole body just got calm. And I felt so safe. And it's been so easy to, it's such a hard thing to like take off your mask and be vulnerable and let yourself be seen. And with her, it's so easy. It's still really hard, and it's also it was easy, and it's just I feel it's the deep unconditional love that she has, and like the no judgment, and just creating that container of just unconditional love, and yeah, it's something else. I haven't experienced it with too many other people either, and it's such a gift to have, to be an experience to experience with someone that like really walks the talk, is really authentic, and holds that space of deep love for like every single person that she meets, from what I see. So yeah, it's really special. Yeah.
Margie, would you mind talking a little bit about what inspired you to meet with Lucia and what you were hoping to accomplish?
Yeah, so I was in kind of a weird place, and I was going to stop doing massage therapy, which I love to do. I went to school when I was like 17. I found massage therapy, and it just like, I don't know, it just spoke to me. It just like changed me completely. And I was in a weird place where I was going to give it up. And I heard her name on the radio show with Q, and so I went on her website, and I was looking at her website, and I was looking at her picture, and I was like, all right, I really liked her energy from the website. I liked her picture a lot. And then I looked at her story, and I was like, oh, her story is like, feels like my story. So then I just kind of like went for it. And yeah, since then I just kept working with her since our very first session in October. And then I remember I fell asleep one day, and I woke up at like 4 in the morning with just like my heart was just like, book more sessions with her. And then I think I emailed her at like 4 in the morning, and that's just how it kind of started.
Did you have anything like specifically you wanted to accomplish, or is just like you saw her and you're like, I got to work with her? Like I know it.
Let's see. Anything in specific? Um, well, I mean, I always want to grow. I want to grow. I want to I know, like, I think I wanted to be like more present, more loving, you know, be more loving with myself and others. And yeah, just, I don't know. I mean, it just, I saw her and I'm always wanting to grow with anything. So I think that was it.
Lucia, when somebody, you can answer this about Marjie or just kind of in general, but like when somebody comes to your door or your Zoom window, what do you feel are some of the determining factors for like somebody who's going to make some really epic progress?
I love this question. You know why? Because it's a mind question. This whole thing about progress, is so interesting. And I'm all about progress, but in a different way. So I look at progress as a different way rather than striving to get somewhere. Is the power is right here. So it can be kind of a mind game when I'm already here and I want to get over there. So the trick is to guide and navigate life in such a way that I'm already where I want to be. So how I meet people is from that space. And I might ask, what do you really want? Or what would bring your heart joy? Or what is your heart longing for? I might ask questions like that. But really, I find a lot of the time people don't particularly want to strive to get to somewhere. They want to be heard. They want to be seen. They want to be loved. They want to be met. They want to be received as they are and have a container and someone to listen to things that they don't usually share or don't know how to share. I call it the inner landscape of where the invitation is to say hello to who is speaking, who is talking, who you're connecting with. We're quite complex in some ways. We're very simple in some ways, and yet we're quite complex in some ways. And so spirit is the one that's always guiding the show. And yet we have these different personality types that come out to play with different people in different environments and at different stages of our life too. And, yes, it's about maturing over time, but ultimately my goal is to stay young and be playful and have a lot of fun and be present and be in the love space of softening and opening and deepening even more. So in a sense that there is really no striving to get to somewhere in this way of living. It's a different way of navigating life. And yet I'm still doing my best every day and showing up and getting out of my way and opening to what wants to emerge through me. And that's what I hold space for other people. So it's more what's alive in you, what's inside, and let's have an exploration and the co-creation rather than me saying, okay, this is what you need to do, but it's non-linear, it's organic and fluid and has an intelligence. There's an intelligence in this way of relating already. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it's such a beautifully different perspective on not going anywhere, not needing to be something else. But wow, what if I was actually just happy as is? It's so small, but it's so ginormous at the same time.
So what I'm really doing in this work is I'm just meeting the places where there's fear, contraction, or holding or withholding, where then there's more space when there's an expression of these things that can come out, and then that creates more space for love. And so then there's more of an embodiment of love rather than fear and contraction and withholding and, like I don't know if I want to open up to this world or this person. You know, it's less hesitancy and more discernment. And the maturity comes with taking a reflection of and reflecting on, how do I want to show up in this moment? Do I need to take a moment? Do I need to pause? Do I need to give myself a second and reflect so I can actually say what I really want to say rather than react out of a program that will create chaos or misunderstanding or conflict or irritation. So I'm a big advocate on taking a pause, the sacred pause, and really feeling into it more than figuring it out.
Mm-hmm.
You want to say something about that,
And
Marjie?
it comes from in the body. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like I was reflecting on this today, actually. It feels like, like the heart of your work a little bit is just, I feel like I've been learning how to be and like just be and from the heart. Like I'll notice like, let's see, how can I explain this? It's such a beautiful way to live, to be because it's so like heart. There's no problems when you're just being, there's no thinking when you're being. You're just like, it's so fun. It's just like, there's beauty all around you and you can see everything really clearly. And I feel like we get so caught up in these little like hamster wheels, or I mean, I do at least in my head. And then it's like working with Lucia, it's just like, keep coming back to like my body and like feeling like what's really happening. And then the more I can come back to my body and feel, the more space that gets created, the more light and the more easier it is to just be. And it's so easy, but it's, it's like the easiest thing. It's just, it's because we can all access it. I just feel like our mind really, I don't know, just makes it kind of hard sometimes, but being is just so pure. It's so fun. It's so innocent. And I feel like it's the heart of your work a little bit. It's just being with what is. Yeah.
Yeah. There's a book called I Remember Union where Mary Magdalena actually did this with her people that would come to see her. And it's very magical. They would leave and not know what happened. And it is a bit like that, because it's not something of the mind that, okay, it makes much sense. But there is an initiation into the beingness of working with this quality of energy that has substance, that is of the light, is of unconditional love. And that can heal anything. It really can. And with the belief and the consistency of bringing this space, which is the light, to whatever, it's very transformative and alchemizing. Wouldn't you say so, Marjie?
Yeah. I mean, I feel like I was feeling it today. I was giving a massage today and I was connecting with my heart and I felt it, and like my client could feel it. And it was just really beautiful, experience between the two of us. But yeah, it's pretty awesome. That's for sure.
And what does it require? It requires to get out of your own way, ultimately. And sometimes that's the most terrifying thing, because in some senses there's an element of releasing control, at least as I've known it. And yet there's also, in replace of that, there's an element of support, of divine support, of feeling like I'm going to be looked after no matter what.
Yeah, I know when I first started working with you, it was really difficult. Like I remember when I would start meditating on my own, it was like there was all this, it felt like static in the way. And I really had to like keep relaxing. And then like the more I work with you, the easier it started to become to just be. And then at one point I had a shift where it was just like, my head could be going all crazy, but then there was this beautiful energy on like the rest of my body. And at that point I was like, yes, like this is good. Like I can do this, like, cause the head can do what it needs to do, but I know I'm safe here. And that was like a pivotal transformational point that I felt. So it was like, you've been helping me come home and be in my body, where like on land, I don't know, I didn't know how to be, you know, but in the water, because I like to surf, I could do it, but not on the land. What
Yes.
did I tell you?
Say that
Something else.
line. Say that line you said yesterday.
Lucia's teaching me how to surf on land, and that's such a beautiful thing, because it's like the like surfing is so in the present moment, and to be able to be in the present moment on land, it's like it feels like it's the impossible. It's like you're teaching miracles. Lucia, you're a miracle worker.
Yes, it is somewhat like that because it's so um, mysterious in some ways of how it works, and it's somewhat self-organizing when there's a particular consciousness and an attitude and presence of showing up fully. And that's also one thing my Aikido has helped me do is align with my mind, body, spirit, and not leaving my body out. You know, so many of us, I know it's hard sometimes when you've got life and you've got bills and you've got to survive somehow, but you're just like figuring everything out. You're just going to work and you're dragging your body with you, and your body's like, no. So it's trying to find this balance and harmony with the mind, the body, the heart, and the spirit, and ultimately working as one, and listening to the parts, not necessarily believing them, but listening to them and acknowledging them and giving them a voice and space so they can breathe and be met and acknowledged and said hello to, like a friend, you know, like fear wants just to be our friend. When we befriend our fear, it's like it doesn't have a grip over us so much. And it's just learning how to work with it, you know. And so that's the same in Aikido. You're learning how to work with your partner. We don't have an opponent in Aikido. It's our partner, and we're working energetically as one with universal energy. And so it's more of like an embodiment entrainment rather than, you know, I want to get from A to B. What do you help me get there? And sometimes it's as simple as that. But more and more lately, people have been reaching out to explore like where they get stuck and not really know. I mean, I'm here and I'm not really sure why I'm here. Can you help me? You know, some people know, but some people don't. They just have been drawn to the energy of what's here in this space. And, you know, ultimately I get out of the way. So I'm an empty vessel, and I just allow this love to shine forth and shine light on things that maybe need attention or need to be transformed in some way. So there's more love available, which is, to me, it's space. It's not the man-made love. You do this, then I don't. No, it's not transactional. There's no agenda, actually. It's very natural and organic and graceful in its nature. Wouldn't you say, Marjie?
Yeah, it's hard to explain, really. It enables me to take off my mask and be vulnerable and open my heart. You know, in stages with you, I've been able to like keep opening my heart again and again, and it's so real and pure. And I feel like that's for my case, that's the only way I can really let go of everything, is with that kind of unconditional love. It heals everything. It's quite magical. And to live your life that way, I mean, wow, you know, that's bringing home here, you know.
Indeed, it is. Well said.
And I feel like that's one of like the biggest struggles out there too, is just what you were talking about earlier of like you're reaching for this thing you want to have, but we're not actually accepting and loving the actual moment. You know, there's still a future instead of a here and now. Marjie,
And
oh, go ahead.
I wanted to say, I mean, that doesn't mean don't plan and stuff, but let it come from a deeper place rather than the stress of trying to figure it all out. And that's the beauty of supporting the doing with the being.
Mm.
When you're doing anything, relax into the being, and there's much more fulfillment and enjoyment even doing the simple tasks like doing dishes or cooking or stuff like that.
There's no push. I don't know. I guess that's how I'd describe it. It's just, yeah. It flows. It doesn't push.
Yeah.
Marjie, this is a big broad question, so you answer this how you like, but like what are some of the big things you and Lucia worked on? You can talk about technique, you can talk about however you'd like to take this question, but what are some of those big things that helped you take giant leaps? Because you took giant leaps.
Well, the biggest leap that I just took was knowing that I can't make any mistakes and knowing that I can't do anything wrong. And she helped kind of teach me that. And then because I had a lot of, I guess, resistance against certain things that had happened to me in the past, like plant medicine, for example. Like I was really resistant to it because of an experience that I had that wasn't good or bad. And once I realized that like I can't make a mistake, that there is no right or wrong way to do anything, something clicked and it just freed me up. And I was able to kind of like rewrite a lot of my past stories that I kind of looked at in a negative way to like a really positive way. And then I was able to feel it. And then once that happened, I looked at everything differently and it changed my whole view on plant medicine again. And I was almost like, oh, it freed me up that it's not wrong, it's not bad, and that I could just do it again if I wanted to. And just knowing that, like, I can't make a mistake and nothing's wrong, it gave myself permission to actually use my intuition instead of some belief that I had that wasn't even real, you know? And it just, I hope I'm explaining this well, but it really like it freed me up in this way that I was just like, wow, it just opened my whole world up to new possibilities. And now I'm in charge. Like if I want to do it, I'm in charge of doing it and not some belief I had. So, and then it made me feel too, like how important it is to be in the moment. Like, let's say like I don't know, I'm hanging out with like a tribe somewhere and they're doing ayahuasca. And like in that moment, they're like, do you want to do ayahuasca? And like my spirit and me, and I align with that decision, then yeah, I'll say yes, because it's like in the moment and what I feel. And I feel like that living life that way is just so beautiful with like every decision, you know, like just to be in the moment and not have like, you know, any closed doors, just like open doors. Now everything's open and I feel like I'm the driver, you know, like my spirit's the driver of the car. So that was one.
I mean, that's a huge one. I mean, yeah, because I feel like you just described the journey of leading with your mind to leading with your spirit, and like how releasing that is.
Yeah, it feels so good. It just like it really just like it opened me up to just being like, you know, me, like fully me, and just being in, you know, I don't know. It was pretty pivotal. I was pretty excited. That was like last week, I think that happened.
I feel like that's one of the biggest ways I've seen you like come into power, because like, yeah, as soon as you trust spirit, you know, there's no somebody can tell you something and you get twisted sideways. It's like you're in your power, and Marjie knows what Marjie wants, and you're able to claim it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and it could change, you know, like what I want could change in an hour. Like I could be like, oh, I don't want to do this now, and then in an hour, and then being okay with that. So it's not like I have like, you know, any beliefs about it, like just being okay with like what's arising in the moment. And I'm really excited about this new way. Thanks, Lucia.
You're welcome. And which is really the path to self-liberation. Really, to have freedom to choose and not to feel obligated or have to or should or supposed to or all those parts that, programs that a lot of us still are running in the background or in the foreground and are just taking over our life and robbing us of our happiness and fulfillment and joy and freedom. And so, a huge component of this is also having the freedom to choose, of knowing, getting to that place of choice. And I could say a lot about that right now, but ultimately, it's coming to a place where you are connected to your own intuition and inner guidance system of everybody. Every single person has that, and the discernment of what to say yes to and what to say no to, what resonates in the moment, is that the capacity of that choice, is that connectedness. Can you connect to that space, wherever it is in your heart, in your gut, different places for different people where they feel it, and connect to more the felt sense in the body rather than just like a cut off, like programmed thing that isn't necessarily going to serve our highest good and keep us healthy. This is also a way to keep us healthy and alive, feeling alive and fulfilled in every day's moment, whether it's like, okay, I feel really sad today. Can I allow myself to feel really sad? Not to make the sadness right or wrong. It's to learn how to be with whatever is arising as it is. That's some radical acceptance and the allowance of letting things be as they are. And that's what Aikido teaches too, is meeting what is, what's happening now, and meeting it as it is. And the mind adds things. And that's where the training comes in, is self-mastery, is learning how to work with the mind so it doesn't take over.
Yeah, Marjie, I have to say too, like that has been a huge part of my journey as well. It's like one day I was given that permission slip that it was okay to not feel guilty about whatever that intuitive tug was. And yeah, it sounds like you had the same experience, Marjie, of just like releasing all that and permission to be spirit led, because we're told our entire lives that we shouldn't be, and we should feel bad about this, and we should think more about something else or someone else or whatever, instead of actually listening to what your heart's trying to tell you to do.
Yeah, I mean, I felt like it just it opened me up to like maybe not like being in a box. Like, not that I might do any of those things, but at least it just freed me up to just be. I just feel more free now without those other ideas. It's really beautiful. I feel more free. I feel more light, and it's just like it's a beautiful way to live, because it's like, let's just go explore. Let's go play. I'm not going to make a mistake when I'm following my heart. And it's like, once being connected to your heart is so beautiful, because it's like we have this big playground now where we can just go run around in the fields or look at flowers.
But the punchline, and the punchline is like Marjie gets to be Marjie. Everybody gets to be everybody, and like, when it's spirit led, it's all good.
Yeah, it's all good.
It's the permission to be yourself.
Yeah, and it's huge. I find that program a lot, and that permission slip is whew. Lucia, a question, because we have a lot of healers I know this is going to go out to, and just a lot of people in general who we all just want to be more present for others. How do you help in such a profound way, because you have the ebb and flow of emotions, in your daily life, being present in your work, and you're able to hold such a loving space for everyone and help so many people. But stay in, I don't know if you describe it more as neutrality or bliss or use some other word, but you're able to stay in that state and not have it be absorbed.
Yeah. What's
That's
the
a tough
question?
one. That's a tough one for me, I know anyway.
Well, it comes to training. That comes from my training. I train 3 to 4 times a week. Marjie came to the dojo once, and if you can have some kind of spiritual practice, regular spiritual practice, it will support the amount of capacity that you have around being present and how long you can be present for your attention, ultimately. That's what I wanted to actually say. Our most valuable commodity or gift is our attention. And where you're placing your attention is where the energy flows. And so if you can place your attention on being here present now and just being in the listening, allowing what is to be what it is, and letting the mind do what it does without identifying with it, and noticing when you do identifying with it, and noticing the suffering that comes with that, and then realizing, oh wait, I can choose differently. Let's come out a little bit and watch my mind do its shenanigans and antics. It's quite amusing sometimes. And granted, I still get, I still go into it sometimes. I'm like, oh wait, I'm here. I'm just noticing that, and I'm triggering myself. Oh, this is another big thing. Nobody's triggering you. They catalyze a trigger, but ultimately you're triggering yourself. And so that's information for you to realize that you have something to actually look at and to heal that needs attention and love.
And that's what you feel like Aikido like trains you to do.
Well, it has in some respects. Yes, definitely. It has with my attention. And yes, it has unearthed and released trauma from my body that I've took on somehow. That when it would come up, I would let it come up, sit on the side, let the tears flow, and then go back right to training. And so it's not to get into all the stuff, just to let the emotion move through the body naturally. And emotion is there to emote like a wave in the ocean. If we're the ocean and the emotion is the wave, just let it go through. And it's where the mind stops it because it gets afraid and it's too much or whatever. That's where issues start to arise.
And you feel like you can see it too.
Where it takes courage. Yeah.
That breath holding and the shoulders and
to feel it, to see it, to be with it, and then it can be released. You say, it's okay, I'm here, it's safe. And then it can have a safe space to emote and be held inside of that expression. And it's quite extraordinary, actually. It doesn't last forever, right? In the moment, it feels like it's going to last forever. And it's like, that's all it's going to be forever. But it passes. It's like a wave, and the next one will come at some point. And that's how what we're here to do. We're here to evolve ourselves, to grow ourselves. And that takes courage because it's uncomfortable. So ultimately, the invitation is to learn to be comfortable with being uncomfortable. Mm-hmm. Then you can really show up as yourself and be authentic. And that's not easy sometimes. But there's a reward, and the reward is connection. Ultimately, if I'm teaching anything through my work is connection. You authentically connected to what is here now.
Yeah, and it takes courage, but it's like the most beautiful thing in the world that I've ever experienced. For sure. It's, is to connect in that way with others is what drives me forward every day, is to connect more with myself and the more with others. And the times that, we've together, me and Lucia, where I've experienced a lot of like emotions come up, or even on my own, and I experience them in that way. Right afterwards, I feel myself filling with more light, with more space, with more. It's really beautiful because I can see the light come in.
It's like you're clearing onion layers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, onion. Yeah.
Marjie, that dovetails into something I want to ask you. Is just what kind of work has this process taken, and however you want to view that, but like, has it been hard? Has it been scary? Has it been fun? Has it been sad? a flowing surfing river of all the things. Like, what has the work been like?
It's been surprisingly really fun and really enlivening, and I just love it. I love to go deep. I love to explore myself in this way. I love the process of surrendering. I love that feeling that I get where I get uncomfortable. I love being uncomfortable. It just makes me alive. It makes me turn alive, and I feel like I'm living, and I love to feel it, and I just want to feel it more and more. And every time I lean into the uncomfortability, some beautiful, magical thing happens. And it's for me, it's like a way of life. It's the way that I want to live, is in the uncomfortable, raw, vulnerable place, because it feeds me. It makes me feel alive. Otherwise, I'm just kind of like dull and just like, all right,
Yeah, I've always said fake it till you make it, but yours sounds better and it means the same thing. But yeah, like for what you've both said, it's if you actually want to grow, it's going to take an uncomfortable moment. But it doesn't even last that long. I don't know if that's what you both find too. It doesn't, like, it's almost the fear of being uncomfortable, and then the moment you actually like dive in with 2 or 3 feet, it's not.
I mean, to me, it feels good. I don't know about Lucia. I love it. It's like what I strive for. It's like when I go to catch a big wave, it's just like, it's that. It's like, you're like, oh my God, this wave is huge. Oh my God, oh my God. And it's like, I don't want to catch it. I don't want to catch it. And then, like, but like the uncomfortability, like it makes me catch it. Like I always catch it. It's just.
But the moment you do, it's not uncomfortable anymore.
Well, sometimes I get wiped out and it gets kind of uncomfortable. I wipe out. I don't know. I live it. I love it. I love to go to the edge and ride the edge, and it just unlocks some beauty and pureness, and it's just like it opens up these doors inside my heart, and I could just keep going deeper and deeper and open more. And yeah, it's great. What do you think, Lucia? Do you feel similar? Or?
Well, I'm just likening it to I've got a couple of examples. One is I used to be a really fast skier. Like I used to ski and snowboard like super, super fast. And I couldn't think of anything else. Otherwise I would like wipe out. And I would go to the edges where I almost couldn't go any faster. It was so fun. And then the other example would be with Aikido. Around every time I step on the mat, I'm uncomfortable. I'm confronting something that I don't even know what I'm gonna confront. And Aikido is really another way of saying life. And everything that shows up on the mat in Aikido is also what shows up in my life that I either haven't dealt with or need to deal with or need to meet. And it's such an exploration. Ultimately this work isn't about so much about the destination as it is the journey and the process, and honoring the process and honoring the discoveries and the revelations and the realizations along the way. To make life richer, fuller, funner, more authentic. And really, it's living, really learning to live a real honest life that is alive, ultimately, that is alive, that isn't just, okay, I'm going to get up and do this thing again, go to work, da, 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 da. It's just an aliveness that is behind everything, behind the actions, behind all the interactions, behind the way I do things, behind the way and it becomes this beautiful expression of life. I was going to say of love, but it's really the love of life. And even if it's just not pretty sometimes, and it's messy, and it's like, okay, I gave myself full permission to be in my own space on my trip to see my mom. And usually I'd go and rescue her and give her a bunch of light and say, okay, now you're back now. And I didn't this time. And it was really liberating for me to not rescue her, and to let her be in her space and give myself full permission just to be the way I needed to be, to take care of myself first. And if you're a healer, you know, we're listening to this, like, it's so important to take care of yourself first. You come first, always. You're not filled up in your cup. You don't have anything to give. It's just, and then people feel that. You know, we're so sensitive. You know, Maya Angelou said, you know, in one of her quote, I love this quote. She said, "It's not what you say and it's not what you do, but it's how you make people feel that they remember that." So, you know, it's important to fill our cups up and do what fills our heart. As Q often says, do what most excites you. Follow your highest excitement. And if that means fall on your face a bunch of times, fall on your face a bunch of times, but keep getting up. That's the warrior spirit. And do it in such a way that there's self-compassion and empathy and understanding for the learning process, that it's gonna make mistakes. You're gonna hopefully learn from your mistakes and make discoveries, and you know, not make yourself wrong and beat yourself up and say, I should have done that. And, you know, the old program that a lot of us have running. It's a wonderful way of accepting the human component as we are in our humanity imperfect, and yet we are perfect in our spirit. So we're bringing the perfection of the unconditionality of love to our humanity, so our humanity can grow and be itself ultimately in its own innocence as it learns how to be human here on this earth. And that's ultimately how I see us evolving. If we can do this individually and share this with others, that's how we can then evolve together as one humanity, as we're here for one another and engaging and connecting and listening to one another where we're at. With love.
One of the pillars I hear you both saying about me being able to take those leaps is really the leaning into the uncomfortable. That somehow, some way, that kind of Band-Aid has to be ripped off of being able to lean into because how else do you grow? If you can't get to a spot where you can just go ahead and be uncomfortable and do the uncomfortable thing.
I often say the resistance is where the healing needs to happen. So let's start with what you're resisting.
Mm-hmm.
And where you don't want to go.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go there. Let's go to the center of that. That's my invitation.
Well, and as soon as that piece is transmuted, it really opens up, right?
Then there are more layers. Just like there's a spiral of evolution. It's not like, okay, now, it's all done.
Right.
I'm perfect now. It doesn't work like that. So that's why it's nice to have someone like me, because, you know, the support, because sometimes it's like, well, who do I talk about all this stuff with? Who has the listening for it and the patience to hear it and the understanding of I don't need necessarily, you know, someone to tell me what to do, advice or solutions, but I just need someone to accept where I'm at. And that's how I learn, is to accept where I'm at. Someone else can accept me. I can begin to learn how to accept myself, because we're not taught that in school. I wish we were. That would be amazing. That would be amazing if we were taught this in school. Radical acceptance and how to really love ourselves and take care of ourselves. Like, you know, put that in place of calculus.
Right? Yeah, I could have used that a little more. Marjie, how do you feel like in your body now compared to how you felt in your body before you started working with Lucia?
I feel I feel a lot lighter. I feel more light. I can feel myself really well. I just feel so much more love, so much acceptance, and I feel like I can meet myself and others in a deeper way. And I wanted to say a little bit about being uncomfortable, like in growing. Like for me, it took being with Lucia. Like Lucia's for me the perfect space holder to be able to grow and actually feel the uncomfortability, and through that I've been able to kind of take it out into my life with others, and um share it with others. Like the other day, or maybe it was yesterday, I think I was at jujitsu, and I just looked at somebody, and I looked like right in his eyes, and I was just like, I love being with you. And it kind of like just came out, and I could just tell it affected him, and he was like double taking, looking at me, and I was just like, it just, I'm able to express like what I feel and what's true. And just working with her, it's changed me so much. And now that I'm going out, I'm just spreading this beautiful love and light with others, and I'm seeing them and hearing them, and listening. I'm actually listening. When I'm with Lucia, she just listens and accepts and loves. And just being with her is showing me how to do that with others. So I'm able to transfer the work out and be like this, this little light, and I'm bringing it to whoever I touch, and I'm able to listen. And to me, it just feels like everybody just wants to be seen, feel, heard, and loved, and like really seen. And I'm able to see people now. So at a deeper level, and I'm still growing, and I'm still learning, and changing, but it's just so profound. The ripple that Lucia has created to me, it's turning into this beautiful ripple to so many. And I feel like that's how we change the world, is like really looking in somebody's eyes, like anybody's eyes, everybody's eyes, like anybody I see, and just seeing them for who they are. And it just makes people smile, and they're just like light afterwards. So that's, difference in my body is seeing people more. And yeah.
And it sounds like it's not just healing. It's not just healing and healing yourself. Like it's a beautiful mentorship program too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
What else, if anything, would either one of you or both of you like to share with people that you think might help them like really take a leap of faith to just kind of go all the way in with doing the uncomfortable things to grow themselves?
Well, there's two options. Do you want to stay stuck and do the same old thing, or do you want to shift and grow and feel alive? And those are really, it's like the red pill or the blue pill, the matrix. It's, do you want to live a life that's alive and free? And you might feel different things that you might not like, but at least you're feeling. You're not like a robot and then living in fear and wondering what's going to be around the corner and contracted and like scared and, and a constant chatter in the mind that you're just anxious all the time, not sleeping well, and it's affecting your health and nervous system. Or do you want to have a life that's authentic, that's real, um, that's full, that's fulfilling, that's rewarding, that's free, that you get to actually choose how you want to live and how you want to be and who you want to be with and what kind of work you want to do and who you want to touch and who you don't want to touch. And, it's really that simple. It's not easy sometimes. It's uncomfortable, yes, but it builds character, and respect, self-respect and substance. And then, there's an invitation for you to have this deeper sense of belonging and peace inside. You can feel it right here, right?
Oh, yeah.
Mhm.
I've been feeling it for a while.
Like, don't relax too much. Whew.
And then there's more space to play and have fun. And that's ultimately my enjoyment of this journey, is to play and have fun and to giggle and laugh about goofy things and let go of the seriousness of life, sometimes and just enjoy it for what it is. And that's the invitation. I actually started this book many years ago, the permission slip, and I really want to get it finished. And if you're interested in me getting it finished, if you give me energy, I promise I'll finish it.
Oh,
I
this
need a
you're
little
writing this.
encouragement.
So what's
Yeah,
the name of the book you're writing? The permission slip?
the permission. Mhm,
I love that.
Yeah, we were just talking about that. That is so cool.
exactly.
Yeah, the permission slip. Wow.
I mean, I know that was like the biggest thing for me. It was the permission slip. Just to let it all go and actually be myself, and that's okay. It's like, really? Oh, okay. I can do that. That's amazing.
Yeah, it really is amazing when you realize you can actually do something that you couldn't do before, and you're like, "Whoa, nobody's going to tell me off." It's like the little kid around the corner in the bush that, "Oh, if I'm going to get found out, someone's going to get really mad at me," you know?
What else would you like
So
to
yeah,
share, Marjie?
I would just say, I mean, just take the first step and know that sometimes it's scary. I know on this journey, especially when I'm, I guess, healing, I'm scared all the time. So it's like, it's normal, and just keep going. There's so many moments where, like, just to know that, like, for in my case, like when my heart speaks to me, it's so strong, and then all the fear comes. So I just have to keep coming back to remembering my heart and just do it anyways, and letting the fear be there. And then just like I just went to California recently, and I went to go work, and I didn't have any, massage appointments or anything. And I was just in this place of like so much unknown, and I had to just keep trusting. And I was so scared, and I did it anyways. And it was just incredible. It opened my heart in so many ways. And in my experience, the most beautiful things in my life, I've been so scared, like I've almost been shaking, like going to do them. And then it's like my heart just opens, and it's like the most beautiful, magical thing I've ever done. So just take the first step and just know that everything's possible. Miracles are everywhere. The universe is like completely here to support us in like every decision we make from our heart, and that we're okay. Like it's going to work out. So that would be
That was really beautiful.
cool.
Well, is there
I
anything
love this
else?
quote. There's
Go ahead.
one quote I wanted to share. Yeah. Between the cracks of the storyline, love can enter. So that's a quote by Adyashanti, who wrote a few books. One of my favorite ones is Falling into Grace. And if you can go beyond the mind and find a crack in your storyline or your beliefs or your chatter, you'll feel the love.
Mm-hmm.
And when you start to feel the love, it's like, oh, I want to sit with myself and take time to be with myself and feel this unconditional love that is always present as an infinite space, and it's never going away. And that's what I would invite each person who listens to this to make time for every day, is just to be with yourself. You don't have to meditate or making a chore, but just allowing space to just be. You can keep your eyes open, you can keep your eyes closed, but just to be and listen. There's no right or wrong way of doing it. It's just to sit with yourself and, be with yourself and feel how nourishing that can feel. And I'm not going anywhere. I'm right here. And I'm just so excited. This whole retreat thing that we're going to be doing, we're probably going to be doing more. And this whole journey of creating a retreat with Marjie, it's sparked by something that was from our heart, and it just happened, and it was so magical. And now we're doing it, and it's reality, and people are coming, and this is how you spark your dreams. Is just feel it, feel the magic of your dreams. Don't give up on your dreams. Feel the magic and find someone to do it with that's aligned, and go for it. Just go for it.
Yeah.
That's what I say.
Yeah. Jump in with 3 feet.
Mm-hmm. That's going to be the motto here.
And
Marjie,
you
you're
ladies did,
everyone.
and like, yeah, you're just creating something epic here, and like so quickly too, and it's blasting off, and because it's spirit led, it just like it's just so exponential.
Yeah, it's straight from the heart, like straight from the deepest place. It would be like if I was to pick anything in the world that I would want to do, that would be it.
It's a 12 out of 10.
So it was like, I mean, it was just like if there was any dream I had, that was the dream, and it's happening. So it's really beautiful. I can feel it right now. It's so magical. Yeah.
So, in closing out, Marjie, how long ago was it you started working with Lucia?
6 months ago,
6 months.
maybe.
Okay, so from a period of 6 months ago to today, you've gone from like her new student to deciding to jump in with 3 feet, being spirit led, going for it with being spirit led, and you two are making a retreat together. That's a pretty short timeline.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, I mean, it's just like this is the most beautiful example of what happens when you actually go for it.
Yeah, it all just felt so right and so easy and from the heart. It's been so fun. I mean, I didn't know healing and finding myself would be this fun. I mean, it's really hard. It's hard, but I mean, like I said, I like the uncomfortability, so it's great.
And it's become like a determining success factor, totally.
Yeah.
That was a question I had for a long time. How can I make healing fun for people? That was a big question for a long time.
Take them to Costa Rica.
Yeah, take them to Costa Rica. Exactly. That's it.
Well, you
and
just
love
make
on them.
you make it so easy with the way you love. You just love so deeply and purely that it's so easy to be with you. So it's yeah.
Thank you.
It's quite easy.
Well, anything else you ladies would like to discuss before closing out here? I don't want to make it too long.
I just want to appreciate Marjie for your willingness and commitment and consistency of just really showing up, not just for me, but for you, and your incredible courage, really incredible courage to feel and to face yourself. And I just really admire you. I'm really proud of you.
Oh, thank you so much. I just felt like we were the perfect fit. I've been looking for you. I've been waiting for somebody to be able to go to the depths that I want to go, and I've been looking for you, and I found you, and it's just really, really beautiful. I feel like I came in here just strong with a big, I don't know, mission, and I don't know. I just feel like I came in like a rocket ship, and it's like I'm ready. Let's go. That's how it feels to me. Is like, I need to go from, not that we're going anywhere, but it feels like I came here with a lot of drive. So for some kind of reason, no reason, some reason.
And now it's
I'm just
happening.
happy. Yeah.
Anything you want to say, Molly, before we complete?
No, I mean, this is an absolute beautiful time here, and just really my profound gratitude to both of you. You know, I hope this touches a lot of people, and I hope this really helps a lot of people. Just get the courage to get started and just to dive in with those 3 feet and just go ahead and be uncomfortable. So you can just live your most epic life.
Yeah. We
Yeah.
all deserve it. We all deserve it.
And if people want to reach out to me, you know, what I make it easy and offer a free 30-minute discovery call just to connect and see if you really want to work with me. And so there's actually nothing you can lose by reaching out in that way. And sometimes I even give tips or, you know, you get something from that time together. So, you know, that's an easy way of reaching out to be connecting.
Yeah, it will be the best decision you'll ever make.
Well, all right, ladies, should we call it a wrap there? Yeah.
Thank
right.
you, Molly, for bringing us together.
Absolutely. Thank you both, and I really appreciate it.
Yeah. Thank you, Molly. How about this moment? How are you guys feeling?
A little blissed out, Marge.
We could just hang out here for a while.
I know, right?
Yummy.
It's like an awake nap.
We don't need words.
Yeah, this is the video, guys.
And they're all like,
This is the whole
what?
conversation.
No, but if you could feel it.